Hello. Well, now we've come to the end of 1 Samuel. Reading is a little bit longer tonight, just so we can finish up at the end of the book. It goes through three or four kind of interesting things, starting off with the whole story about what they call the Witch of Endor. Saul, appropriately so, had sent out all the spiritists and the mediums and things like that, and not allowed them in the nation of Israel under his when he was the king. But he can't get the Lord to talk to him. He's not getting prophets sent to him. He's not getting information from the priest. He's not getting a word from the Lord. He's not having dreams. He can't get anything. So he decides he needs to do something on his own. So he finds this spiritist. They call her the witch down in Endor, where she lived. And he goes and asks her, I want you to bring someone up for me. She says, Saul, that'll get me in trouble. Saul has kicked us all out, won't let us do our jobs. And he says, don't worry, I'll take care of that. You'll be fine. She says, who do you want? And he says, Samuel. So when she brings Samuel up, she's shocked. She says, you're Saul. She realizes what's going on. And Saul talks to Samuel. Samuel's upset. Why'd you bother me? And he says, no one will talk to me. He says, I told you, I prophesied to you that the Lord had taken the nation away from you. You're not going to be it. I told you that before I died. And Saul is struck. It's a low blow to him. And then Samuel says to him, tomorrow you and your sons will be with me, meaning they will be dead as well. And so then you get to chapter 29, and now the Philistines have decided they're going to go attack Saul. And the king asked David to go with him. And David says, sure, now you're going to see me fight. And it doesn't really say necessarily that David's going to take advantage of the king, but you know David's not going to fight against Saul. He didn't kill him when he had a chance, so he's certainly not going to do it when he's riding with the Philistine army. But he's in the back, one of the bodyguard teams or whatever, with the king. The rest of the king's soldiers and captains said, we don't want the Hebrews here. They're going to turn on us. And the king says, no, David's good. He says, they're going to turn on us, send them back. So he sends them back to their home at Ziklag. Then you get to chapter 30, or late chapter 29, and you find out that the Amalekites have come and they have destroyed Ziklag that's burning, but they've taken everything, they've plundered it, but they didn't kill anybody. They took all the people, including David's two wives. So chapter 30, David is following them, taking his men, and he destroys them, and he is able to bring all of the people back. There's a little bit of an encounter because his men split up. Some of them, 200 of the 600, were too tired. When they come back, his guys are kind of rough guys, remember? And they said, well, we're not splitting the spoils of this with those other 200. They're on their own. They can have their wives and children back, but that's all they're going to get. And David said, no, that's not the way we play the game. So he makes them all divide up. And he says that's a rule that he implemented from that point on. And then chapter 31 is the death of Saul. The Philistines attack him. The whole crew dies. Jonathan and his brothers die. Saul is the last one to die. He's been mortally wounded, but he's not yet dead. He asked his armor bearer to run him through so that they won't do anything to him while he's still living. Armor bearer won't do it. Saul takes his sword and kills himself. The armor bearer sees that Saul is dead and he kills himself. And that's it. And then they come and the Philistines find Saul and his boys. They cut off Saul's head, and then they go hang it on the wall at Bethshan. The men of Jabesh Gilead. Do you remember Jabesh Gilead? That's the first group that Saul gathered everybody together to go defend. The men of Jabesh Gilead hear that Saul is dead and that his body is being inappropriately displayed, and they go and they march all night and they get his body, they take it back, and they burn it so that and his sons, and they burn it so that it can't be taken back again. And then they bury his bones under a tamask tree. And that ends 1 Samuel. So as we go into 2 Samuel, obviously we're now getting full headlong into the life of David. Hope you enjoy. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Have a good evening.